There's a title on this video, and I'm pretty sure you read it. Click the hair back, put the headphones on, switch cameras. That's all I could do. I'm gonna just start off. Frame 1 of 1. This nigga looks like his bitch's level is negative 10,000. I know I'm finna hear some incel shit just by this opening shot.
Regina Hall had a joke, regarding LeBron James' hair.
That's crazy. His hairline was actually present in that movie. Whoa,
Stop. That's fucking disgusting. So apparently Regina Hall had a joke, regarding LeBron James' hairline. Now imagine.
But first thing I'm gonna start off with is the difference between Chris Rock's joke and Regina Hall making a joke about LeBron is that Regina Hall was making a joke about LeBron specifically, and that joke has been around for years, so LeBron is used to hearing that joke. So nobody cares at all. B, LeBron's hairline isn't messed up because of alopecia. It's just messed up because he had a shit barber.
If a guy did the same joke to a woman, actually, you don't have to imagine. That actually happened with Will Smith.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
Making fun. Like, the reason why this joke, for those of you who don't understand, because, like, in my other video I did, I'll probably put the iCard over there if I remember. The other video I did about this, like, I was joking around. But, like, on a serious note, which is a very different tone from that other video, the reason why this joke was so crazy and out of pocket and why he had to ask the crowd and tell the crowd, like, oh, that was funny, come on, laugh with me. The reason why Coon Rock had to do that was because he was talking about this man's wife, and we all publicly know, like, people who are informed about this situation, unless you've been living under a freaking rock, we all know why this is a sore spot for Will. She has been airing out the most confidential and personal parts of their love life and just their life in general that nobody wants exposed, especially somebody from the sort of background that he's from. We wouldn't want that type of stuff exposed to the public. And here Jada is on her podcast every week running her goddamn mouth about their whole personal life, and she's gotten so comfortable with it to the point to where she doesn't even mind talking about it in front of their kids. Let me put that in a scope. She's so comfortable talking about her sex life to the public that she's willing to talk about her sex life in front of her kids. That being said, things like that is why this is a sore spot for Will Smith. And on top of that, Chris Rock wants to make a joke about Will Smith's wife in front of him while he's standing there 2 feet away. And let's not forget, on top of that, the reason why I brought up the LeBron thing was because LeBron just has a shit barber. She has an actual medical condition as to why she can't grow hair and all that. She didn't choose to shave her head bald. And a case like some dude that's just bald, or like, let's say if you were making jokes about Amber Rose having a better lineup than 21 Savage, it's like, okay, Amber Rose doesn't look like a hairless monkey because traction alopecia. No, she cuts her hair to be like that on purpose. So to make jokes about something that somebody has control over makes more sense. Get it? Cool. Back to the video. And by the way, a lot of people point to Will Smith and say, oh, Will Smith was laughing before the joke. He only did that because Jada. No. Will Smith wasn't laughing because he was like, aha, that joke was funny. Ah, ha, 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 ha. He was more laughing of a like, oh, he really don't. That's the type of laugh he was doing. He was doing one of them sarcastic laughs of, oh, you really don't think I won't come up there and smack the fire out you. But we progress.
Oh, Richard. Oh, wow. Wow.
Your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude. It was a G.I. Jane.
See, this, I'm not gonna go off of that judging of he just looks like he has 0 bitches. So let's just assume he's had minimal 1 bitches in his life. How does loving your wife mean that she has you on a leash? Like, let's be real. Just because you love someone and you're willing to protect them, that doesn't mean that they have you on a leash. That just means you actually fucking like them.
Angel.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
I'm going to, okay?
We witnessed an assault on live TV.
Said a bitch ass nigga.
And in the same fashion as Will Smith's,
Hey, this is a big fact. This is a big fact. Because I remember I was having a conversation with somebody. It was this female I know, and she was opening up. I guess she had some problems in her life or something like that. And like whatever was happening, it was causing her mental distress because she just started saying off the wall shit like men have it easier. And me and the other dude that was sitting there looked at each other. Then we looked at her and proceeded to tell her, no, we don't. Men don't have it easier. Why? Because if you walk down the street and you see 2 people sitting 5 feet away from each other, it's a man and a woman crying 5 feet away from each other. Most people are gonna walk to the woman first, and for the females, it's gonna be to console her because you know that feminine energy. They relate. Oh, what's wrong, girl? Who did this to you? We protect, we attack, and the niggas gonna go over there like, hey, if I console her while she crying, you know. Shoulder to cry on. And like the dude that's sitting over there like 5 feet away, they're gonna look at him and be like, why is anybody going over there to console that bitch ass nigga? Like if any dude cries or talks about his emotions in public, as you see by this meme denoting, they instantly get called a bitch ass nigga. But I feel like he's gonna have some roundabout way of saying, that's irrelevant. You're supposed to be a strong, big dog, and you're supposed to overcome it.
a crying meme, we laughed. And I gotta assure you that, yeah, there's a lot of funny memes. I have to say that. But it got me wondering, how can Regina Hall,
This nigga said funny memes.
make a joke and not, quite honestly, this is not attacking her. Make a joke about LeBron James' hairline, but hey, it's a meme, everyone laughs at man,
Yo, my nigga. Yo, my boy, what?
Everyone laughs at man, R.I.P, sure, losing hair all of a sudden is not a problem, but calling Jada Smith G.I. Jane is going too far. Like, it was the most harmless fucking joke I've ever heard from Chris Rock, and apparently she got pissed, and that's a beautiful part about it. When Will Smith, you can see him laugh at the joke, and then, I don't know, maybe off screen or whatever.
When people say that Will Smith was laughing at the joke, I feel like these are most of the people that say that like don't know how to read emotions, because like anybody who's either that or you haven't seen somebody laugh that type of laugh before. Because if you take into account the situation and you've seen somebody laugh that type of laugh before, you know exactly what the fuck his laugh was.
Whenever he looks at Jada, holy shit, she's pissed, starts walking, and he has to white knight this shit. And listen, I do gotta feel bad for Will Smith.
Protecting your wife is white knighting.
Chris Rock, man, he won. Let's be honest, right? I would never hear about, Jada Smith joke if Will Smith didn't slap the fuck out of him. Because that's a funny part.
Nah, deadass, who does watch the Oscars?
Right? Pretty sure most people didn't know about, her case of alopecia. I didn't know.
She's been talking about it publicly for like 2 years, bro. Like, I don't understand how niggas don't know. Cause like, you could just look at her hair and tell like, she's had the same hairstyle for a while. And like I said, she's been talking about it for like 2 years. Like, I don't know how people don't know. Like, I'm not saying, like, you don't have to keep up with the Joneses in order to know that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Until Chris Rock made a joke. All of a sudden, I know Jada Smith as this alopecia having person, right? And quite honestly, the joke about G.I. Jane is definitely better than knowing her as a cheating bitch as she is, and most people regard her as. I mean,
my comment on the whole cheating thing is this. I'm not gonna say whether what she did was right or wrong or blah blah blah. All I'm gonna say is think about this. Her and August Alsina were childhood friends. She knew August Alsina before she knew Will. August Alsina, according to what was told and what I know, August Alsina did not rape Jada Pinkett Smith. Like, August Alsina asked her and she said, yeah, let's go in the room. He didn't rape her. She consented. Keep that in mind when you call her a cheating bitch. She knew she had a husband. Not saying it makes it right. Not saying it makes it wrong. I'm just saying factor that in. Because I feel like a lot of people don't realize that. They just think, oh, she cheated her. And then all the trauma for their exes just surfaces up. And then they just, oh, she cheated. Oh, that reminds me of that one time. It's like, let's take some factors into account.
The whole entanglement story. And yeah, I mean, it's a case of Will Smith not having self-respect for himself, which even though he was the one assaulting Chris Rock and, you know, that's all fuck.
And like that was a joke I made in my video, because like even though I hadn't heard it yet, I knew I was gonna hear it a lot. A lot of people are gonna refer to it as assault, a brutal beating, a this, a that. All he did was pop the nigga in his mouth. Like respectfully, he could have did a lot worse. Like, he could have went up on stage and stabbed Chris Rock. He could have went and shot Chris Rock. He could have took a glass up there and broke the glass on his head and used that to stab Chris Rock. He could have beat the dog shit out of Chris Rock, because apparently security was Detroit urban survival here. Like, the security was just on that type of mode because there was none. So there's a lot worse he could have did to Chris Rock, but all he did was smack him in the mouth, pop him in the mouth after taking like a 5 to 10 minute walk, because he didn't take one like Will like one thing I want to point out is Will didn't just smack him like this. Keep my wife's neck. No, Will Smith got up and he walked over to the stage and then said, Chris Rock, keep my wife's name out your mouth, after popping him and sitting back down. That wasn't no 2-step walk. That man like added at least double-digit steps to his Fitbit going up there to slap Chris Rock. I'm just saying, just keep that in mind. I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
Fucked up, but again, I'm pretty sure Chris Rock already moved on from that.
Yeah, he decided not to press charges.
That's why I still gotta feel bad for Will Smith, man. The lack of self-respect that you gotta have to simp to a woman who fucking mistreats you, quite honestly, so too much frequently. I would never expect Will Smith to willingly go into all these interviews and talk about how
A, he did go into willingly, and B, I don't like how he's just keep calling Will Smith is a simp, Will Smith is a simp, Will Smith, but he didn't really give any real reason as to why Will Smith is a simp, so to speak. Because all he said is, oh, Will Smith is with his wife who's a cheater, da 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 da, and I already said what I said about that. But like, he keeps referring to Will Smith as a simp and as a this and as a that, and like, you know, most of the stuff on the red table that Jada Pinkett Smith talked about, where she talked about their relationship, Will wasn't there for most of it. He might have knew about it, but he wasn't there for most of the talks. You know, like I've been saying, not saying it's right or wrong, just keep that in mind.
she preferred to fuck Tupac and how he doesn't have the sex drive. Listen, it's embarrassing. And
which is true, it is embarrassing, but like Daquan Wiltshire said, 2 people you can't compete with: childhood friends and dead niggas.
what Will Smith did, of course, you know, we go into the whole field of comedy. Does it have barriers? I mean, I certainly
I don't believe in that phrase, comedy doesn't have barriers. I believe in, if you're funny, nobody cares. Chris Rock is not funny. That's what it boils down to. Because let's put it like this. let's put it in perspective. David Chappelle has 3 specials that bring people and are major heavy hitters to Netflix. He is a heavy hitter in the Netflix ecosystem, and in each and every one of those specials, he had a bit and a whole section of the specials where he made jokes about transgenders. They're still up in their entirety in their regular form. Why? Because Dave Chappelle is funny. And also, let's take out the Dave Chappelle is funny. But another thing you gotta think about is whenever Dave Chappelle was making his jokes about transgender people, a lot of people make it seem like whenever he makes his jokes, he goes, transgenders, bad, kill them all. But really, he's giving commentary and he's saying like, yo, the background I come from, that's a crazy idea. Where I come from, one of the craziest thoughts you can have as a man is, damn, that dress would look good on me. That's all he was saying. And he was giving his commentary. He was saying that the things that he saw and the encounters he had were weird because how he views the world, that doesn't make sense to him immediately. But he stated within his specials, like, yo, I don't have anything against transgenders or nothing of that nature. But you can't sit here and tell me that that shit is normal. Because if it was normal, you wouldn't have to get surgeries to add body parts and take all kinds of hormonal treatments and stuff like that. That's what he was saying. And when Dave Chappelle was talking, he was speaking facts. And he was speaking about something people have control of. See how we loop back? He was talking about something that people have control of. You have control of whether you become a transgender or not. You still have to make the choice to make the transition. You made a choice, live with it. Understand that when you make a choice to do something, there's going to be somebody that's not okay with it. Like, for example, if you make the choice to be a proud black man, there's going to be people who have a problem with it. If you make the choice to be an unproud black man who just abandons their heritage and coons and sucks up to whoever's going to get them at the top of the ladder, there's going to be people that don't like that. No matter what you do, there's going to be people that don't like it. So when they make, all you can ask is that they make fun of something that you have control over. Transgenderism is it's just a funny ass concept.
I think that the barrier is from the person who hears a joke, which is to not get up and just assault someone because he didn't like the joke, okay? And listen, it was shocking to me because it
wasn't a matter of he just went up and smacked a nigga because he didn't like the joke. It was a matter of he was coming after this man's wife. Not his girl, not his side piece, not his boo thing, not his homegirl, his wife. His wife. You know what it means to choose the love of your life and decide to put a ring on their finger and have multiple kids with them that are currently all grown? All of his children are grown. He's been with this woman throughout his children's life, through thick and thin, from pre-birth to post being adults. He's been with the mother of his children. That's not like, to do what he did, that's not simping. Like, simping, because I feel like people, like, since the word has been like sensationalized, the definition has been lost. Simping is to do things of that level for somebody who don't love you. Like, for somebody who abuses you, doesn't treat you right, hates you, and you still do all these crazy things for them. That's what simping is. Now, the definition, as you can see, exemplified in this video of simping, has just turned into, oh, if you do anything good for a woman, you're a simp. You're a simp. You're a simp. You're whipped. Pow! You're whipped. It's like, nah. This is the mother of his children that are grown. If you think that's simping, there's no way you can convince me that you have a clear understanding of the term simp.
Was one of the most harmless fucking jokes I've ever heard, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Again, especially from Chris Rock. For people to think he got what he deserved or he got it coming, What kind of fucking century are we living on? People being all about like freedom of speech, or at the very least.
Let me break it down like this. On the whole, Chris Rock got what he came for, freedom of speech thing. And I'm gonna pick my nose on camera because I don't care, nigga. And I'm leaving all that in. Suck my dick. And the thing about like anybody who uses freedom of speech as a valid argument as to him being able to make fun of his wife, does freedom of speech say that you can make fun of somebody's wife? Yes, absolutely. But you know what's the one thing over freedom of speech? Freedom of ability. People love to use this freedom of speech thing but not understand the idea of freedom of ability. Let me explain to you freedom of ability with this simple phrase. You have the right to say whatever you want, and I have the right to not like it. That is the freedom of ability. For example, the freedom of ability is, hey, it's not okay to go over there and punch random nigga 869 in the face, but I am physically capable of going over there and punching random nigga 869 in the face. That's what freedom of ability is. So you have the freedom of speech and the freedom to say whatever the fuck you want. And I have the freedom to walk over there and pop you in your fucking mouth.
Like freedom of speech, or at the very least, you know, freedom to say what you want and to not be oppressed. All of a sudden, like...
Did this nigga just say oppressed? A white nigga with glasses that never leaves his house is saying that somebody getting popped in the mouth for saying some dumb shit is oppressed. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. I think I just mentally checked out of this video after that one. You made a joke about that man's wife, who, again, as I will keep saying, that he has multiple children with.
Do you understand how dangerous it is? Imagine you telling a joke with your friend, someone overhears it, they don't like it, they get to fucking punch the fuck out of you just because you were offensive.
Again, freedom of ability. You're free to say dumb shit, and I'm free to punch you in your mouth for saying it. Who, you know how there's always that person in your friend group, or in your class, or in your family, or in your whatever, where they say crazy off the wall shit and you constantly have to tell them like, yo, if you said that in the street, somebody would smack the fuck, like somebody would get on you. He's the person that heard that and said, it's not okay to say that. If he does that, I'll press charges and call the police. It's like, the police can't get here faster than I could walk 2 feet over to you. Like, he's the person that doesn't understand that concept. That's what this video is showing me.
To someone who you didn't even expect to hear it. Like, no. And that's the thing, it's the Barbra Streisand effect. No one would know about this if Will Smith didn't react the way that he did.
When Will Smith said it, he made sure he said it nice and loud and nice and clear. Will Smith wasn't saying what he said just to Chris Rock. Will Smith was saying what he said to everybody in the room, watching everywhere. And I hear a lot of people saying like, oh, Chris, he could have did that backstage. That was unprofessional. It's the same thing I said about Colin Kaepernick of when he kneeled, of how I feel about this situation. Yeah, he could have did it behind the scenes, but nobody would have heard what he was trying to say had he did it behind the scenes. Sometimes to get your message out there and to give the people the understanding of the message you're trying to convey, you gotta do it at stupid times. Like sometimes you putting up a peaceful protest and a peaceful whatever, where you get on stage and get a proper venue and do something the right way. It's like, oh, all they gotta do is shut you down. Oh yeah, that happened over there. Cool, he's peaceful. But what you gotta do is you gotta walk on stage while somebody else is talking. I'm gonna let you finish, but you gotta kneel in front of them singing the Star Spangled Banner while everybody in the stadium is watching you, or else nobody's going to know. Sometimes you have to do things where everybody can see to send a message or else nobody else is going to know.
Oh, he was protecting his queen. Ugh. Bro, stop. That's fucking disgusting. Stop doing that shit, okay? It's idiotic. And I can assure you that if LeBron James just got up and started like pounding on fucking Regina Hall, even if he wasn't even there, I guess, to start with, but if he...
That's the main factor. A, he wasn't there. B, it isn't a sensitive spot. C, you're talking about LeBron. D, this is an old ass joke that everybody done made. E, she's a woman. That's 5 reasons just off the top of my head as to why LeBron wouldn't punch Regina and a king. And all of those are invalidated by F because they're friends. That was unintentional. Your boy funny like that. Hit the subscribe button, pussy.
Was there and he started fucking throw some haymakers onto that face, I can assure you, like, that would be a whole month of protests, right? That wouldn't even be enough. Maybe they would have to extend that shit because...
No, they wouldn't. The very next day, LeBron's contract will be terminated.
God forbid if it was the opposite. This whole thing of men, it kind of reminds me of the Kanye West thing. Guys, just have some fucking self-respect. They're not worth that much. Even if they were actually good women, it's not worth that much. It's not worth getting up and, you know, punching or slapping a known comedian.
I can tell that he has never truly had a significant other. Because the energy I'm getting from him is like, I'll never do that. If a girl ever does that to me, I'll leave her. She ever cheats on me, I'll leave her. His girl, he gets with a girl, she cheats on him 6 times. And he's like, well, it wasn't her, it was me. No, she's not a hoe. It's just that I wasn't doing enough. It's just that. That's the energy I'm getting.
Right? Now it makes me believe that Will Smith has some sort of like anger issues. Because again, this man was laughing, looked at her, and he went simp mode. I'm sorry, I don't like to use the word simp. It's probably in the title.
I've used it several times, put it in the title, knowing that you were going to put it in the title. And you've been just using the word loosely, but you don't like to use the word simp.
But I have to use it because it is the prime example of simp culture. It is so fucking stupid what went through his mind. But again, Will Smith, I do believe it's some sort of like, what you call it, Stockholm syndrome, right? He has to defend a person who doesn't defend him back.
What? That's not what Stockholm syndrome is at all. Stockholm syndrome is you fall in love with your captor.
Which is quite hilarious. I never seen her even react like she left. I'm not sure if this was correct, but apparently Regina Hall also made a joke with, you know, Jada Smith and Will Smith about their, you know, marriage.
I've got a list here, which I'm looking at, I have memorized, but if you hear your name, I'm going to start with Bradley Cooper, Timothy Chalamet, Tyler Perry, Will Smith. You're married, but you know what? You're on the list and looks like Jada approved you, so you get on up here. Get on up here.
But see, the difference is, once he like, the reason why I'm not laughing is because I've seen this clip a few times, so the joke is kind of dead for me. But A, this joke is a little bit funny actually. And B, she's not violating nobody. She's not saying nothing crazy off the wall. She's making a joke about, oh yeah, your wife said you could come on stage. Come on stage. She's not saying anything crazy. And as you can see, unlike in the other clip, Jada wasn't... Her body language was that of, yeah, this is funny. I'm okay with this. Not saying you have to be okay with every joke, but again, bringing that back, this is a joke that has something to do with something you can control.
All right.
She laughed, right? Everyone knowing that it was Will who took the bad side of the deal, let's say. Oh my god, it was so funny. Haha, I love it. They start mentioning, like, a comedian talks about her hair, which she didn't even know had to do with alopecia.
Stop. He did. They know each other personally. He fucking did. She's been talking about it publicly for 2 years. There's no way that nigga didn't know.
Like, she doesn't lose her man, but she basically shuts up, makes that angry face. Oh my god, the worst thing. Listen, as someone who started balding at 21 years of age, getting mad at that joke is just ridiculous. But yeah, you shouldn't.
There's a difference between a man balding at 20 something and traction alopecia on a woman. A man balding at 21 is expected. That's genetics. Your mental image of yourself may be fucked with a little bit, but you expect that as a man. You expect one day for your hair to just go. It's not the same for women. How many niggas do you know see a woman with a shiny scalp and say, oh yeah, that scalp turns me on? None. You will never hear no nigga say that.
Assault people for jokes. Who would have thought that that's my basically my final opinion. And as an extra bit, and yes, even here I'm wearing a robe, okay?
That sounds like some cornball shit, so I'm gonna say it.
But above all, listen, Chris Rock, bigger man, not filing for, charges or whatever. He kind of reacted beautifully. If I was him, I would just go direct, but he kept on, he was just trying.
What did I say earlier? You hit me? That's alright, buddy. I'll call the cops on you. Like, yo, my nigga, you're 2 feet away. Please can't get here faster than I can get over there. We'll see about that. That's him.
Trying to make that part of the show, like, it was still staged. Will Smith kind of broke that shit really quick. And Will Smith, in a certain way, I mean, Jada, if there's one person that I don't feel bad for, it's Jada. I really couldn't give a shit, especially someone who is also balding. Like, that was child's play.
A lack of empathy. And I find this video more sad because you should feel empathy for somebody that's going through the same struggle as you. That's like, let's say, for example, somebody who also has ADHD trying to focus and study for a test or something like that, but they don't have my natural gift for not needing to study. Let's say there's a person that needs to study, but since they have ADHD, they have difficulties focusing while they study. And I see they're having difficulty studying. And instead of trying to help to the best of my ability and giving them tips and advice like, well, when I did have to study, this is what I did. And instead of doing that, I go over there and clown them like, you bitch ass nigga. You should learn how to study. Nigga, focus harder. Oh, the reason why you're not able to study these books is because you're not focusing hard enough, you bitch ass nigga. You don't want it enough. You don't want it enough. Because if you really wanted it like that, you would have it. You would have that focus. You would have that drive. You'd look at that paper and you'd start writing down all the notes. You'd look at those flashcards, zip, zap, and all those thoughts gonna fly straight into your head. When the real truth is, like, no, that man can't not focus because he's lazy. He can't not focus because the chemicals in his brain don't go to the right places. It is what it is. He didn't ask for it. He didn't try to get ADHD, but he got it. We here now. How do we deal with it? What he's doing is the reverse. He's saying, you have a problem? Fuck you, go struggle. That's basically what he's saying. Like, oh, you have a problem that I clearly can help you with? Fuck you, go struggle, nigga. I had to struggle, so do you. Which, that type of mentality doesn't help anybody. Doesn't help you feel better about yourself, because later on you're gonna look back and be like, damn, I could have helped that person, but instead I took a big dump on them. And it doesn't help them because now they gotta struggle. But instead of having one struggle, you added on to their struggles of not only having to deal with whatever struggle they're currently dealing with, now they have to deal with the trauma of somebody telling them that their struggle isn't a struggle. You see the rabbit hole that this goes down? This type of mentality creates more problems than it solves. Like, way more.
That fucking joke. And listen, at the end of the day, I will say this as many times as I have to. Comedy, if you're offended, it's a you problem, it's not anyone else's. I mean, I'm gonna ask you as a challenge, tell me a joke. I can assure you that as soon as you open your fucking mouth and say 3 words, I'm gonna find a problem with that. I couldn't find anything offensive. And if it's all about sensibility, like what people sense as something that shouldn't be joked about, like if it's too serious, it's really personal. So I could say anything. If you're gonna tell a joke about dogs, I love dogs. What the fuck is wrong with you? Don't tell jokes about dogs. it's a really dangerous line. So no, Jada's just.
Hey, look. If you understand what this means, you understand what this means. I have a dog who is a puppy named Buddy, and I'm still killing all 5 of them motherfuckers. What is you talking about?
Just has to get some balls, you know. Actually, if there's anything she doesn't need, it's more ball. But yeah, I'm not gonna say that she needs to stop being offended, but you know, she has to improve her sense of humor, I guess, or at the very least understand, like, oh, you know, and you know, she didn't really tell Will to do that kind of shit, so I don't know. And Will obviously needs to.
How do you know that? Were you there? Do you have a camera angle that none of us saw? Because from the footage I saw, the camera went back to Chris Rock, and all you see is this motherfucker Will laughing, Jada rolling her eyes, and Chris walking back up to the stage. From the camera angle I saw, they pointed back at the stage. So how we know when that camera panned away, she didn't go, yo, Will, go handle that.
He needs to go through some sort of like anger management, I don't know. And I guess to him, biggest advice, get some sort of independence from that woman, because that certainly is not helping you, my man. But I think that's pretty much it. Thank you. Subscribe if you like the style of videos, alright? And I'll see you next time.
One thing that's like a problem with videos of this nature that he's making is like, you can say all day and all night, he needs to get away from her, he needs to get away from her. But at the end of the day, you're not there while that relationship is going on. So even though this is like an extreme scenario where she airs out all of their dirty laundry on social media for everybody with a set of ears to hear or a set of eyes to read the article the next day after the Red Table Talk comes out, you're not there. You're not in the home while these conflicts are going down. You're not in the home while... You're not in the room while they're getting ready to have sex and Will's sex drive is low. You're not there. You're just commenting on what you see of what they say is there. And I'm a believer of not everything you have to be there and experience in order to talk about it. But this is one of those scenarios where in order to talk about it, you need experience. When it's something of this nature of you talking about, oh, this guy should get away from this person, you're not there in his daily life, seeing the behind the scenes stuff. You're not at his crib. Well, I'm guessing. Maybe he's there and I just don't know. But chances are he's not. You're not in his crib when his wife is walking back and forth. You're not in his crib, ABC, EFG, seeing a day-to-day life. You're not there. So you don't fully know. None of us can fully know what we're talking about in terms of whether he should or shouldn't leave that woman. And let's also revolve back around to that point that this is the mother of his 2 adult children. 2 adult children. Once you get to the point to where you have 2 adult children that are public media figures, and the way that Willow and Jaden are, and Jada Pinkett Smith is, who the fuck you gonna divorce her and marry and have a meaningful relationship with? Like, if he divorces Jada Pinkett Smith and tries to have a meaningful relationship with somebody else, it's gonna be extremely difficult. Cause yeah, he's Will Smith, he's a millionaire, but that's the problem. He's Will Smith, he's a multi-millionaire, maybe even billionaire. There's gonna be a lot of gold diggers he's gonna sift through, and then he's been famous for a long time. So not only does he have to dig through the gold diggers, he has to dig through the advanced level gold diggers. He's been with Jada Pinkett Smith so long that like him getting back into the dating game, even though like he would be playing on, he theoretically would be playing on easy mode because billionaire, he really wouldn't be because billionaire. So with that being said, tell me down in the comment section what y'all believe, what y'all think. Shorter version coming tomorrow. If you're watching this, the date is uploaded, or probably same day. I don't know. But if you're watching this after the day this was uploaded, the short version should be out. And that being said, peace out, y'all. Don't forget to eat the booty like a bunny. Okay, bye.